Okay, let's dive right into this. Hello, UPSC aspirants. If you're aiming to score absolute top marks in your general studies or optional papers, management, public administration, or sociology, you need frameworks that make your answers totally stand out from the crowd. Today, this explainer is going to be your secret weapon. We are decoding a heavily tested, literally crucial concept, the psychological contract.
Now, if you want those top marks, you're definitely going to want to stick around until the very end of this explainer. Why? Because I'm going to share a high-value, super easy-to-draw signature diagram that you can replicate straight onto your mains answer sheet. It's specifically designed to instantly boost your exam scores by showing the examiner you completely understand the mechanics of this theory. So no skipping ahead.
Let's quickly run through our agenda to build your perfect model answer. First, what is it? Second, key features. Third, fulfillment versus breach. Fourth, the HRM perspective. And finally, number 5, that signature diagram I promised. Starting off with section 1, what exactly is the psychological contract? Every perfect UPSC model answer needs a strong, academically precise introduction, right? Well, the psychological contract refers to the unwritten and informal understanding of mutual expectations and obligations between an employee and an employer. What's absolutely fascinating here is the word unwritten. This goes completely beyond the formal written employment contract you sign on your first day. You won't find this in a PDF or a printed company handbook. Instead, it's built entirely on perceptions, trust, and reciprocal commitments.
Now, to really impress the examiner, you want to drop an academic scholar's name right in your intro. It's a guaranteed mark booster, for sure. I want you to memorize this exact quote by the prominent researcher Denise Rousseau. She defines it as employees' beliefs regarding the obligations existing between themselves and the organization. Seriously, write that down, because citing Rousseau instantly elevates the overall quality of your answer. Let's look at how we can visually map this whole thing out. Take a look at diagram 1, right up there in the top left corner. This is the core concept of the psychological contract. Notice the arrows? It's a two-way street. The employer at the top is expected to provide things like fair pay, growth opportunities, recognition, and support. In exchange, the employee at the bottom provides loyalty, commitment, high performance, and trust. The psychological contract is basically the invisible bridge connecting those mutual expectations. Moving right along to section 2, key features to remember. Now that we've got our introduction, what are the core characteristics you actually need to list out? To make sure you don't blank out during the pressure of the exam, I'm giving you a cheat code. Just remember the mnemonic UMSD. U stands for unwritten. As we just discussed, it's informal and not legally enforceable in a court of law. M stands for mutual. It relies entirely on mutual expectations and trust between both parties. S stands for subjective, and this is absolutely crucial. It varies among individuals. 2 employees sitting at the exact same desk might have completely different psychological contracts with their boss. And finally, D stands for dynamic. It changes over time. What an employee expects on day 1 is very different from what they expect in year 5. UMSD, memorize that, and your body paragraph is totally sorted. Let's take a quick pause for your prep right here. If you're finding this breakdown helpful and you want more exam cracking frameworks just like the one we're building right now, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us keep creating these highly focused explainers for you. Okay, section 3, fulfillment versus contract breach. So this is the critical analysis part of your answer, where you really examine the so what of the theory. We have to contrast the 2 distinct sides of the coin here. Fulfillment versus breach. When the contract is fulfilled, it is a massive win for the organization. It enhances employee motivation, boosts job satisfaction, strengthens loyalty, improves productivity, and effectively reduces turnover. But if there is a breach, say the employer promises a promotion but hands it to someone else, the consequences are severe. There is an immediate, catastrophic loss of trust in management. You're going to see reduced morale, skyrocketing dissatisfaction, and increased turnover in tensions. Basically, people will start looking for the door. And this brings us right back to our master visual. Look at diagram 2, positioned right there in the top middle. This visual bifurcation is such a great way to structure your thoughts. It perfectly maps out how the psychological contract branches off. The green path on the left shows fulfillment leading to job satisfaction, commitment, and high performance. The red path on the right, that shows breach, leading straight to distrust, absenteeism, and reduced performance. It's a really simple cause and effect that is incredibly easy for an examiner to digest. Let's jump to section 4, the HRM perspective. We can broaden the scope of our answer by shifting gears to the human resource management perspective.
Doing this shows the examiner you can actually apply theoretical concepts to practical management life cycles. For this, I want you to focus on diagram 4, down in the bottom left corner. This traces the entire HRM life cycle of the psychological contract. Interestingly, it doesn't just start when someone gets the job. It starts way back at recruitment. During those initial interviews, expectations are already being formed. Those expectations then solidify into the psychological contract when they join. From there, HRM must actively monitor whether that contract is honored, which leads to engagement and retention, or if it's violated, which leads directly to disengagement and turnover. This flowchart is an absolutely fantastic addition to any public administration or management answer. And finally, Section 5, the signature diagram for exams. And this brilliantly illustrates our main event. This is the high-value payoff I promised you at the start of this explainer. Guide your eyes exclusively over to diagram 5 in the bottom right corner. This is your UPSC secret weapon. I'm going to paste this out slowly so you can take a mental screenshot of this diagram. Notice how elegantly it pulls literally everything together? It starts with the employer who issues expectations and promises. This forms the psychological contract with the employee. But here's the critical pivot. It all hinges on the employee perception. If it's perceived as fulfilled, you get those green outcomes: trust, motivation, better performance. If perceived as breached, you hit the red outcomes: demotivation, turnover intention, poor performance. Simply drawing this exact flow in your exam will visually demonstrate your absolute mastery of the topic, saving you words and scoring you major points. So, how do we tie this all together in a strong model conclusion? You can write that psychological contracts are vital for effective employee relations. Their fulfillment promotes true organizational harmony and deep employee engagement, while their breach will adversely cripple organizational performance. It leaves us with a fascinating, kind of provocative thought to consider. In literally any organization, it is often the unwritten rules and the unspoken promises that truly dictate real-world performance. Think about that. Keep that in mind for your exams, and until next time, keep studying smart.